Africa is awake. It's Tuesday, May 18, 2021. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Africa is truly awake. Rise and shine. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of your colorful breakfast show on the continent. Je m'appelle Oluchi Inobong.
Je m'appelle Olisa Chukuma. Good morning, Africa. Bright and early start. Let's take you through headlines today, right here on Breakfast Central.
Africa's Jacob Zuma's trial postponed.
We'll also take you to Kenya, where the Governor Mohamed Abdi is set to be impeached in the country.
And in Nigeria, the outcome of PDP's Governors Meeting in Ibadan. More details.
Maintaining a healthy dentition and white teeth, if you may. All that and more on the program too.
And of course, what's trending on the continent.
News Central ní ẹ̀ ń wò.
Many thanks for watching us. This is Breakfast Central on a Tuesday. Now, well, let's take it to Nigeria, where governors of the 13th People's Democratic Party yesterday met at the International Conference Center of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Ibadan, Oyo State, southwest Nigeria.
All right, now, so besides Governor Nyesom Wike and Aminu Tambuwa, who is the chairman for the PDP Governors Forum, other governors in attendance were governors of Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Enugu and Bauchi. Now others are governors of Benue, Delta, Cross River, Edo, Taraba, Bayelsa and even Zamfara.
Now the governors during the meeting deliberated on a number of issues, and we have our correspondent Amadine Uyi who joins us now to bring us up to speed with the latest from the outcome of that meeting. Amadine, good morning to you. Now, what prompted the meeting by these PDP governors yesterday?
Now, first of all, you must realize that in a few months, we are going to enter the election season proper. And besides that, there's been the several issues of insecurity, the issues that have to do with attacks on rural communities. Remember that the governors met sometime last week and outrightly banned open grazing. Especially southern governors ban open grazing. So at this point in time, everybody wants their voices to be heard, because the moment we enter the election season, in about a year's time, Nigeria commences its general elections.
All right, so now Amadine, talking about banning and open grazing and some of the agreements. Can you just take us through some of the agreements, or do we call them recommendations, that was reached during the meeting that was held in Ibadan?
Now, for the meeting that was held in Ibadan is not isolated with the other meetings that had been held previously. Also remember clearly that Nigerians had criticized the People's Democratic Party, saying that they were not acting as a veritable and formidable opposition, because when they were in power, the All Progressives Congress, which is currently in power at the moment, the APC gave a sort of a veritable opposition. And right now the APC is in government. Nigerians feel that the country is regressing, retrogressing, issues that have to do with insecurity, issues that have to do with resource control, devolution of powers. These are all these are the issues that the governors are bringing to the spotlight once again. Because, like I said, the elections have come. And Nigerians, the big question you'll be asking is, have Nigerians been better off in the last 4 years? It is for Nigerians to answer this question. But what is fundamental is that the PDP have begun to outline these issues, saying that they want resource control. That is the issue that was on the front burner before the APC came into power. Unfortunately, the All Progressives Congress did not implement resource control. Now that we have security taking a different dimension, before we used to have the issue of terrorism, Boko Haram in the northeast and trying to spread around. But right now we are seeing kidnapping has taken a new dimension, banditry has taken a new dimension, and the sorry part is that it is now spreading to the south. So these are the issues the governors are outlining that they want the current administration to tackle. But like I said, everything that goes on in political circles from now till the end of 2023 will have to be part of politicking, because they want Nigerians to, they want to lay the issues for Nigerians, so that Nigerians will be able to make up their mind on the direction they will take come the 2023 general elections.
All right, Ahmadine, 13 PDP governors gathering in Ibadan 2023 clearly is the front burner and alongside the security. But do you think this perhaps might be the swing that really unites the PDP? Because before now, they were looked at as a largely divided house.
Now, the truth about the matter is that the PDP will not be united after their convention, after they handpick a presidential candidate. Because right now there are various interest groups. You have the interest group, which is being led by Wike from the south-south. You have that from Tambawa from the northwest. Then you even have the Atiku factor that wants another shot at the presidency. Then you still have those within the party who are clamoring that let's obey the gentleman agreement of zoning. If the APC produced a candidate from the north in the last 8 years, then we must move to the south. And there's also the factor where religion also has to play. Are you bringing a Christian candidate or are you bringing a Muslim candidate? Remember that Nigeria is fairly divided between Christians and Muslims, but you have more of a Muslim north and a Christian south. So all these issues will continue to play out. But the PDP will not be united until the party agree on a candidate. Because after the party has agreed on a candidate, then you will now see the other candidate, the candidate will now begin to reach out to aggrieved parties to say, see, let's come together, let's form a formidable fight. But right now, there are several contenders, Tambuwal, Saraki, Atiku, and Wike, all of them who wants to bring their own, who want to bring their own power, who wants to bring their own influence into the party.
All right, Ahmadine, just one last question I have for you, which is about security. Now, looking at the 13 governors who came together, and one major thing that a lot of Nigerians are expecting from them is to give results, to give resolution in terms of security in their different states. Now, do you think that collective partnering in terms of state policing is a better option as against coming together, joining forces based on the boundaries that we have interstate to give a lasting solution to insecurity among the 13 states that came together based on the Governors Forum?
Now people talk about state policing, but also you also have to ask the fundamental question: who will fund the state policing? A lot of these states are insolvent. That's why there are some of us who have covered security believe that state policing is not the key. And there are also those who entertain the fears that when you create state police, you are giving an army to a certain power broker who happens to be the governor in that state. But all in all is that everybody agreed that security has that Nigeria, we are going through a lot in terms of insecurity. And security is going to be a fundamental part in the oncoming elections. Whatever it is, security will go a long way to swing a lot of votes to any particular candidate. But as it is, state policing, community policing, whatever you call it, state policing is not the key, because a lot of states are insolvent, they cannot pay civil servants, and therefore they will not be able to fund any state policing unit that is approved.
All right. Thank you very much, Ahmadine Uyi, our correspondent and Abuja Bureau Chief, for coming once again on Breakfast Central. We're looking forward to have you once again, Ahmadine.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Oluchi.
All right, still more top stories right here on Breakfast Central.
All right, we'll move to South Africa, where the former South African president, Jacob Zuma, has said he's ready to face charges in court. Now, he appeared in the Pietermaritzburg High Court just yesterday.
Now, the case was postponed to May 26th, when the court will hear arguments from Zuma's legal team about why they want the prosecutor in the case to excuse himself. Now, Zuma is also expected to plead not guilty at his next court appearance.
Now, Zuma faces 16 charges relating to an arms deal that South Africa concluded in the 1990s. Now, this case has dodged the former president for over a decade. But why was the case postponed? Well, South African journalist Diane Hawker explains.
Of racketeering, 2 counts.
The initial speculation was that Zuma's legal team would request more time to actually prepare for this case. And this is because his main lawyer, Eric Mabuza, actually withdrew from the case, saying that Jacob Zuma didn't have the funds to continue to pay for the legal fees in the matter. He's now represented by a different lawyer who has told the court that he is ready to proceed with the case, but he wants to bring an application that might cause a different sort of delay. So it wouldn't be one relating to the lawyers actually deciding or arguing over whether they are ready to perform, but rather one that relates to the fitness of the prosecutor in the case to actually continue with the matter. So that postponement was only for a week, and this is because the National Prosecuting Authority said it still hasn't seen the actual papers that are going to be submitted by Zuma's legal representative explaining what they want the court to actually do.
Right, from South Africa, where the embarked Jacob Zuma still lingers, to Nigeria, back again, where the Nigeria Labour Union embarked on a 5-day warning strike in the northwestern state of Kaduna over a recent disengagement of civil servants in the state.
Now, the Kaduna state government has defended its decision to cut down its labor force, saying it is in the interest of over 10 million citizens of the state.
It says the threat of industrial action or blackmail by the union will not make the state's government reverse its decision.
The civil service in Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, has recently been tense as Labour and its affiliates have crippled the entire sector with industrial actions following the decision of Governor Nasiru El-Rufai's administration to disengage 4,000 workers across the 23 local government areas of the state.
Not a single we can break their hold if our work can have freedom when we learn. To come in order to stand against dictatorship, to stand against tyranny, to try to stand against draconian policies and laws, that Kaduna State shall be great. Kaduna State is greater than an individual, is greater than any cabal, is greater than any person who thinks he's an agent of oppression.
Reacting to the development, Comrade Ayuba Waba, president of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, described the action as arbitrary and cruel and called on the Kaduna state government to reverse the mass sack.
Let me thank our unions, those from organized private sector, from Nupeng to Nui, from Bank Union to all the unions, railway, air transport employees, all of them put together that have given maximum support and maximum action deployed for the success of this action. If he is a reasonable person, he will have known that this issue is beyond the issue of rhetoric.
The Governor El-Rufai is insisting that the government was not elected to just pay salaries of public servants alone, but to also develop the state by building and upgrading infrastructure and making the state more secure and attractive to the private sector for jobs and investments. The NLC kicked against the decision, calling on the state government to reverse the decision and seek alternative means of running its affairs without inflicting additional pain on the public. Members of the affiliated unions on Monday chanted solidarity songs ahead of the planned protest against Governor El-Rufai's policies at the NLC Secretariat. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us. General Secretary of the National Union of Electricity Employees, NUEE, Joe Ajaero, had in a circular directed Kaduna state workers, including the members of the NUEE, to shut down and ensure total blackout in Kaduna, while aviation workers on Sunday shut down flight operations at the Kaduna airport. Other unions, including railway workers, local government employees, and university workers, will not resume their duty posts on Monday. Most of those affected are civil servants who are not due for retirement, and Kaduna state government public servants below grade level 14 have been at home since late 2020.
So trying times in Kaduna, but of course we will be giving you updates right here on Breakfast Central. It is now time to tell you what the newspapers are saying today, Tuesday, May 18, 2021.
Still Breakfast Central with Oluchi and Olisa. Straight we go to the morning papers, and we'll start in Nigeria with The Punch. And they are going with, yes, the protest as we just brought to you in Kaduna yesterday. But first of all, at the top story says, INEC meets security chiefs as Burns offices rise to 21, which is the Independent National Electoral Commission of the country. It says meeting with security agencies holds tomorrow, Wednesday, parley with the RECs, and 2023 poll budget may rise. Commission plans to replace attacked facilities. Now, so there you have it. We talked about the Kaduna protest yesterday by the Labour and the strikes. So there you have it on the front page. People in Kaduna, and you have the, well, they've turned his name from El-Rufai to Hell. Rufai, poverty, hunger, and insecurity. It says El-Rufai alleges sabotage as NLC strike grounds Kaduna state, even down to the airports. Also on the front page of this morning's The Punch, on the bottom left, it says Yoruba Nation Southwest Governors Bajamiala others meet with Tinubu on Sunday. 31-year-old mechanic faces prosecution for alleged defilement of a girl who's age 11. And inflation drops marginally, expert counsel federal government on security. So there you have it on the front page of The Punch in Nigeria.
All right, from The Punch, we move to New Vision. We're talking about the Uganda paper. Looking right here at the Uganda paper, the uppermost right, you have potential women for the next cabinet. That's on page 35 of the New Vision this morning. You also have this story on page 3. It says, scary details on suspected child trafficker. Scary details on suspected child trafficker. You have that also with the picture of allegedly the person involved. Well, you have more information on page 3 of the papers. Also, you have the MP swearing in. Yeah, you can see the picture right inside. You can see the swearing in ceremony, and you can have more details in the New Vision this morning. Talking about security, Uganda, Democratic Republic of Congo to share intelligence. How will this play out? You need to go to the New Vision. Government to revamp traditional schools. All this and more in the New Vision from Uganda.
And from Uganda, we can go to the south of the continent, straight to Zimbabwe. We go with the Chronicle paper. The Chronicles, they call them, making a return to Breakfast Central this morning. So there you have it. At the top there, it says government suspends maize imports. Why? Find out on the morning paper there. And an interesting one on the right. It says hypertension cases rise in Zimbabwe. Why? How come? And what is motivating this? We'll have to find out. And also still on medicals, doctors, nurses leave Bulawayo hospitals. Now, Bulawayo is a region out there in Zimbabwe. So there you have it. But the big story, government suspends maize imports and hypertension cases rising in Zimbabwe.
All right, from Zimbabwe, we move to Rwanda. We're looking at the New Times newspaper this morning, and we have quite a busy one on the New Times. Rwanda Air to focus on African routes in new recovery strategy. It also says the airline is rolling out rigorous safety measures to protect passengers and cabin from COVID-19. You'll see more details on this in the New Times this morning. Nigerian couple on why they set out to start new life in Rwanda. Talking about migration. fine. Okay, you have more details.
Interesting.
This is pretty interesting, I must add. Okay, you can see the picture of the president. Yes, this is the president of Rwanda and the French counterpart. Yes, they had a meeting and they're speaking out on the Rwanda-France ties. You have more details in the paper for you to read.
Right, we'll follow up more on that because you know that African leaders are meeting the French President Emmanuel Macron today
yes.
alongside the IMF. So there'll be lots to follow on that story right here on Breakfast Central and indeed News Central. Right, well then, away from all that on the papers, now good oral hygiene. Oral hygiene is necessary to keep the teeth and gums healthy, as it involves habits such as, brushing twice a day and having regular dental checkups.
Now, however, oral health is more than the cavities and the gum disease. In fact, there is an association between the health of a person's mouth and their overall health. Now let's watch this.
Today, I get to buy a new toothbrush and I'm so excited, said no one ever. Shopping for a toothbrush isn't as fun as buying a new color of lipstick or clothing. It doesn't even come close, but it is important. Replacing your toothbrush will keep you and your family healthy and smiling. Here are some toothbrush tidbits that are good to know. How long does a toothbrush last for?
It's not like a hard and fast answer. Typically, you would say change your toothbrush after every 3 months. But that is because we expect that in 3 months, the bristles would have started to splay and it probably will not be as effective as it was when you started using it. So the correct answer would be whenever you notice that your toothbrush starts flaying and the bristles start spreading out and they're no longer straight, change your toothbrush, even if it is just a month after using it. But usually it will last for 2 months, 3 months if it's a good quality toothbrush.
So do we have a particular time frame when you can tell people as a dentist that, okay, you should use your toothbrush for?
Some people say at least 2 minutes, some people say at least 4 minutes. I have a timer that I give to my patients, my orthodontic patients especially, and that timer rolls for about 4 minutes. So I would say brush for at least 3 to 4 minutes every morning, and then you have to brush before you sleep as well.
Once the bristles in your toothbrush start to lose their stiffness, the toothbrush is almost ready for the trash. Without bristles that brush aside food and plaque, your toothbrush quickly loses its efficiency. Can you give us other reasons why people should change their toothbrush?
It's like driving a car and you have a brand new tire, right? The tire is supposed to carry you from place to place, and also when you apply your brakes, the tire is supposed to stop, right? But after a while, wear and tear will set onto the tires, and then when you press brake, it won't stop, it will skid. Or when you see that the linings on the tire is starting to fade off, then you change the tire. So the real reason why anyone should change their toothbrushes is because it's getting old and it's no longer efficient.
Okay, so Dr. Timmy, how do you take care of your toothbrush?
Well, every time you brush, rinse it out properly. Try not to put it functional side down in a cup or a container, because what happens is that water can pool and remaining water from when you brush can pool from the bristles, and then it will cause microorganisms and everything to percolate there. So usually put it from the handle down. Then if you have to cover your toothbrush, back then it was popular that you should cover your toothbrush if you have a toothbrush that has a cover. However, there are some toothbrush coverings that would prevent small animals and everything from leaking the bristles of your toothbrush, but still have gaps so that air can go through and dry them.
If you've been ill, get a new toothbrush, or you could get sick again. If you have any type of virus such as a cold sore, you should throw away your toothbrush. Do not put in the toothbrush in dishwater, microwaves, or use disinfectant to get rid of germs. Replacing your toothbrush may be a way to help you stay healthy. Toothbrushes come in all shapes and sizes. Make sure to look for the ones that are recognized by the Dental Association. Most dental professionals agree that a soft bristled brush that is gentle on the gums is best. Happy toothbrush shopping!
Right, thank you very much, Lizzie, and that's it for interview with dentist Timi Akimoda. So there you have it in terms of the recommended time to use your toothbrush.
And I know, Lisa, we're just talking about it because I don't know. I think for us that went to boarding house, when you say 5 minutes is a lot of time, or even 4 minutes. We that went to boarding house, in 4 minutes you brush, you take your bath, you wear your clothes, and you're ready to leave the dormitory.
I can use more than 5 minutes to brush my teeth in the morning. I'm still very much sleepy.
And he's a guy, like, I don't now. So what do you want me to say? Okay, so I'm supposed to use.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's a gender thing. It's not. I don't think it's a gender thing. It's just maybe a preference thing. Some people
talking about preferences now. Some people would prefer softer bristles for their toothbrushes, while some people prefer the harder ones. And there's this school of thought that says if the ones who are used to the harder bristles, if they turn to use the softer ones, it feels as if their teeth were not well brushed.
Yeah, so they end up spending more time. I listened to the dentist talked about 3 months. Time to change. I was like, what? Shouldn't it be shorter, like a month?
Well, once your toothbrush begins to have a kind of funny shape, it could be a sexy shape.
Do you need to have it going on the edges, like? Are you brushing?
Okay, you know what?
Or teeth?
You know what? I know on Friday we're having something because I think we're going to ask people on the street. But I need to ask you first. Come talking about toothbrush and hygiene. Do you think you would want to share your toothbrush with your spouse? Don't answer yet. Don't worry. Chill. Friday. We'll bring out the answer on Friday. All right, so on Friday, we'll have some people, we'll have some Nigerians and some Africans who will tell us on how often they actually change their toothbrushes and also if they're willing to share their toothbrush with their spouse or spouses is a case where, now remember, they say when two come together, they become one. So in that, and from that angle, is it fair or is it hell?
Okay, that's why there's individual toothbrush. Toothbrush is personal, just like salvation. As they say. All right, still Breakfast Central, Olisa and Oluchi this morning. For it's a Tuesday and we're having fun on the program with lots to come. So coming up next on the program, all about the Basketball Africa League Day 2 action. We'll tell you what happened.
And of course, we'll be giving you the latest report from outside Africa.
And the latest trends from across the African continent with Trend Wave. Don't want to miss it.
Kuna kallon News Central TV.
It's a Tuesday. You're still watching Breakfast Central with Olisa and Oluchi. Now, Africa is the second largest continent after Asia, covering about 1/5 of the total land surface of the Earth.
Now, the continent Africa is bounded on the west by the Atlantic Ocean, on the north by the Mediterranean Sea, on the east by the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, wait for it, and on the south by the mingling waters of the Atlantic and Indian Oceans.
Yes, now we are going to cross those oceans to bring you the latest updates from outside the continent of Africa with Joe Hansen standing by. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, guys. Good to have you this morning. Well, it's also good to have me on the breakfast, so I'm saying good morning to you. Hope you all had a wonderful night rest and a good breakfast.
Well, breakfast? This is breakfast, basically. All right, Joe.
All right,
take us
so
across.
Let me take you straight to outside the continent of Africa. Well, let's start off first with the sad story. The Israeli military pounded Gaza with airstrikes just yesterday, and up until this morning, it's still the talk of, been making the headlines. They're saying it was targeting the homes and infrastructure of the Palestinian militant groups Hamas, as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to continue to strike at the targets of terrorism. The Hamas-run Gaza Ministry of Health said 212 people had been killed and 1,400 others injured since violence fled last week in what has become the most serious Israeli-Palestinian confrontation in years. 61 children and 36 women are among the dead, the ministry said. By the way, the European Union says it will redouble its efforts to end the rise in violence between the Israeli military and Palestinian militants. EU foreign ministers are due to meet for a special summit on Tuesday and have expressed extreme concern over attacks on the media during the fighting. So it's actually a sad story happening right there, and many people are starting to talk about this. It's not that it's not been happening all through the years, but this one is quite significant. But let's move on to another story right now outside of Africa. At least one person is dead and 3 others injured after a shooting in a Toronto suburb, Toronto police said. Now, witnesses said they saw a man get out of his vehicle and started shooting at the intersection of Willow Ridge Road and Ellington Avenue West around 2:30 p.m. Police said on Twitter. The man was seen shooting into another vehicle. One person is in life-threatening condition, guys, as we speak, and 2 other victims have non-life-threatening injuries. All 4 victims are adult males, according to police. So, Olisanoluchi, this is not the first time we're hearing of shooting cases in America. Also, outside of America, talk about Canada, Toronto, name it. And this is happening all over again. It seems to be in the news every week. Anyway, police initially reported there were 5 shooting victims, one of whom died. Sad. They later revised the number and said they were 4 victims, one of whom died. So it's one case after another, killings, violence, and it's still leading to the statements or the comments made by the Americans about gun control and so on. Well, in India, sad story. India's total coronavirus cases have surged past the 25 million mark, boosted by 263,533 new infections over the last 24 hours, while deaths from COVID-19 rose by a record 4,329. India becomes the world's 2nd nation after the United States to pass the grim milestone. The country's total caseload is now at 25.23 million, while the death toll is at 278,719, according to Health Ministry data on Tuesday. So these are some of the stories I have for you guys on the breakfast this morning outside of Africa, America, Toronto, Canada, name them, India, and so much. So many stories to be told, but I'm sure you get all of this as you continue to watch News Central TV on our subsequent bulletin, otherwise known as Beyond the Continent.
All right, Jay, thank you very much. Lots going on outside Africa, indeed.
Yes, it is. I mean, looking at what's happening in Gaza, and I know some of us were watching it when, as at the time it happened.
It's been described as a pounding.
I mean, from the story we gathered, I mean, a phone call was put through to to one person in the building, alerting them to leave, to vacate from the building, as airstrikes were going to happen anytime soon. That was 1 hour to when the strike actually happened, and people were watching it and seeing what happened real time, and it was hitting home because there was a lot of chaos in that region.
We just hope that the violence and the strikes out there in Israel, between Israel and Gaza, comes to an end. We've heard Joe Biden speaking about perhaps U.S. now supporting a ceasefire.
No, but talking about U.S. also, I mean, look at the shooting. In times past, I mean, United States was one of the states that was very, very familiar with a lot of random shootings. But now this is gradually migrating to Canada. I mean, from the story that Joe Hansen gave, that's Toronto with the random shooting.
All right, still Breakfast Central on News Central. Still more to catch right here on the program. Right, so that's speaking about the pounding away from Israel and Gaza, Palestine. That's one thing I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited seeing that. I mean, that is my fufu akpu AKPU, as it's well spelled. But having that as breakfast, or having that for breakfast in the morning, with what kind of soup?
Vegetable soup. well-spiced pepper or egusi, depending on what part of Africa you're from, because we know that in different parts of Africa we have our own swallow, whatever we call it. So that was
as the case may be.
Yeah,
that was our Nigerian fufu.
The Ghanaians have their own.
Yes.
I'm not sure what the name is. I've forgotten the name.
I've forgotten the name, but I know that for the different soups now, coming from my Cameroonian side, we have a soup that's called Ero. Ero in Nigeria is what they call afang, I think, yes. But Ero is a very good soup to complement this kind of swallow. As
and in Cameroon, there's also the pounded plantain in it.
Yes. There's also the pounded one. It's called oh, I'm trying to remember the name this morning, but it's pounded, and then sometimes they can wrap it and make it long, or they can make it round like a fufu as well. Yes. So pakoko. There's also pakoko in Cameroon as well.
What was it made of? This
pakoko is like ekpankukwo.
Okay.
Yes, ekpankukwo is a Nigerian version for Akwa Ibom version, but there's pakoko, there's ero. There's so many different kinds, but a lot of times their delicacy goes with fish, because looking at that swallow now.
Amala.
But you know, while we're excited about this, some people are turned off by this because they feel this kind of meal is too heavy.
No, you don't have to eat a
heavy.
full chunk of it. It's nutritious because it could be wheat. It could be yam,
Eba.
It could be plantain,
Gari.
like gari starch. You know, different African foods have their own starchy-based or pounded-based type of food that you have with your soups. So
now you're talking
I'm
about
a swallow person in the morning. Hey, what can I say?
I've enjoyed it. I mean, during certain prime times in my life where I had to wake up by 2 a.m. and eat egusi soup and fufu in the morning. So yeah, I've had those days. 2 a.m. I literally went, I warmed it up. It was sizzling hot, and you know, with that swallow.
Because we're Africa.
Together.
We're African. We're talking about Africa and what makes African breakfast. Yes, African breakfast, swallow is part of it. Not everything is bread and tea now. Come on.
Honestly, super excited. I mean, I can see it all over your face.
Oh my gosh.
Looking at that meal, I don't know what you're going to have after the show today, but I'm looking forward to it.
Look, the secret to it, I light up if I can have swallow of any sort before breakfast central in the morning. Oh my gosh. Really, people say they avoid swallow in the morning. I'm like, no, we're Africans. If some good side meal with some vegetables, it makes it count.
All right, up next, we're still on Breakfast Central, and do not forget, you can always follow us on social media. We're there on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and it's at News Central TV. Do not forget also that we asked the question yesterday. We're asking the question today because we will be reading out your tweets tomorrow. Now, who is the presenter in the entertainment segment of Breakfast Central? Now, up next is Trend Wave.
Right, time to bring out your tabs, phones, and look at the trends of what's trending and what's the hashtags all across Africa. And one lady who always gives us the latest is Lizzie Musa. Lizzie, good morning. Good morning to you. What's trending in Africa?
Good morning, Olisa. Lucia, how you guys doing this morning?
Very well. We want to trend.
Very soon you trend. So on Trend Wave today, we'll be taking a look at the trending story of Ahmad Issa, who is popularly called Ordinary President, who hosts a long-running radio and television program known as the Brekete Family. In this latest video, which is making the rounds in the BBC Africa Eye documentary, the activist can be seen slapping a lady who was accused of setting her brother's daughter on fire over an allegation that she is a witch. Let's take a look at this video.
Please, I am begging for forgiveness. I don't know what happened.
Madam, tell me the truth now. I will give you one last chance.
As the thing happened, me, I don't know how come it took on like that.
It seems that the ordinary president has had enough, but there's one more thing he wants to do.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Reaction. This particular video has sparked up mixed reactions from Nigerians on Twitter, as you expect, because this is quite it's really tricky, because quite all right, what the lady did is something that I can't even find out a word to describe it. But what bothers many is the use of physical force in this interview. And while many are of the opinion that, she deserves it, but at the same time, people are like, oh, a journalist, is he expected to do this? So what do you guys make of this video?
I've been following this story even before it was brought on the BBC Africa. He's a popular man, the ordinary president. And my thought was that it's not the first time we're seeing him. He's an activist and a media personality who helps people, get rid of justice, follows their stories. But for this to be caught on camera, it only shows, first of all, this is violence against women. This is assault. And it goes to show how deep we tend to really take laws into our own hands in Nigeria.
Exactly. And if you ask me, this is mob justice, if you ask me, because, and it speaks like this is something he actually does on a regular, because that's why they had to catch this on camera. So we'll just follow up and see how the story goes. As for the lady, I hope they get justice for her. So let's move on to South Africa, where Bonang is trending and the word allegedly is also trending. In a recent conversation, which is picking up steam in South Africa, the media personality Bonang Mathiba, who is one of Forbes Africa's 50 most powerful women as of 2020, was recently accused by Rio Gapane for being responsible for influencing AK into the use of cocaine. Our legal representation has stated that these are defamatory and false claims. This follows the death of rapper AK's girlfriend, who allegedly committed suicide in the hotel room she was sharing. Rumors are circulating, and it has it that AK is on drugs, and this is where the problem lies. Now, Bonang is suing Ria Gopane, who is a podcaster, for 500,000 rands for allegedly, putting out statements towards her which are not true. So let's look at this video of Rio Gopane actually apologizing for his actions.
Podcast. As stated in my previous retraction and apology to Ms. Bonang Mathiba, I would like to sincerely apologize to everybody that was mentioned in the podcast on the 9th of May in 2021. I am deeply regretful of what I said, and I now realize the harm that our podcast could cause, and I've learned from my mistake, and I will definitely look to improve on my content going forward. The people that I would like to specifically apologize to is Ms. Bonang Mathiba, Siyabonga Nkwekazi, which is Kut Makatini, and then lastly AKA, which is Mr. Keenan Forbes. I just want to make sure that we push the envelope forward in terms of providing content for the entertainment industry. I never want to be negative and spew negative information. I just want to make sure that we build together, and everything that I do or say, everybody that I interview, I leave them with a lot of positivity. So I'm really sorry, and I hope everybody can forgive me, and I'll make sure I do the right thing going forward.
So yeah, that's actually the trend in South Africa at the moment, and that's the reason why Bonang and the word allegedly is trending, because people are now saying, you know what, before you say anything and you're not sure if you need to say allegedly. And it's funny and it's not funny at the same time, because people are making jokes out of it. But the truth is, he said this in his podcast, and I remember his co-host, there's a video for that, but his co-host was saying it and asking him this question, are you sure about this? And then he said, Scoop said it. So this is actually the trend, but it's a good thing to see that he's actually put out this statement to, apologize about this. So that's what I can bring for you today on Trend Wave. There's so much more to catch up on Thursday. We'll bring that for you on Trend Wave.
All right, Lizzie Musa for giving us the latest, allegedly, so on the program. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lizzie.
Thank you so much, Olisa. I'll let you see you guys later.
Okay, thank you very much, Lizzie. Right then, we'll go straight to some sporting action right here on Breakfast Central. All right, no time to waste in the world of sports. It's all about the big one, the Africa Basketball League, which started yesterday, on Sunday. Well, we saw matches yesterday, 3 to be more precise, and, good one for the likes of AS Douanes of Senegal. They had a victory in their opening match, which was a good scoreline for them. They defeated GSP, which is GS Petrolas of Algeria, 94 to 76. Zamalek of Egypt, 71 to 55 over Ferroviario de Maputo of Mozambique. And US Monastir of Tunisia beating GNBC of Madagascar 113. It was a blowout to 66. We'll have matches today, that's for sure, still on BAL. which is Petro de Luanda of Angola. They will take on AS Police of Mali, while FAP, not AFP, FAP of Cameroon will take on the team called AS Saleh of Morocco. So these matches are Basketball Africa matches going down in Kigali Arena. So there you have it. Also, there'll be football today when it comes to the English Premier League. The likes of Manchester City will be busy. Let's look at those matches for you right there. Manchester United against Fulham. Southampton against Leeds United. Brighton and Hove against Manchester City. So City are champions. They travel away from home. Good luck to them. And the big match, which is a repeat of Saturday's FA Cup action. Chelsea versus Leicester City again. Now, it's a game that might have an impact on the top four. Chelsea lost the FA Cup. Will they want to lose again to Leicester City, who have the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi? We'll have to find out. The sports team will tell you all about it much later at 10:30 right here on News Central.
All right. What programs will be showing on later today on News Central TV? At the Village Square Africa, 7 p.m. West African time.
And at 9 p.m. later tonight, NC Continental Prime. You don't want to miss it. Right then, it's been quite a package right here, Tuesday, May the 18th, 2021. And we had fun on the program, especially the food part.
I know, right? Okay, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. My name is Oluchi, and of course, we have Olisa. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.